Hi folks, guess what folks? There is now taking place a video war between Japan and South Korea. Yeah, that's them folks, they're duking it out, having a video war with one another. A little background. The Sea of Japan, the body of water between the Korean Peninsula and Japan, there was a South Korean destroyer and a Coast Guard vessel attempting to rescue a stranded North Korean fishing vessel. Since it was in Japanese waters, the EEZ, Exclusive Economic Zone, the Japanese sent the military aircraft to investigate. And what the Japanese did, they released a video showing exactly what transpired during this investigation. And one part of the investigation was that the Japanese made an attempt to communicate with the South Korean destroyer, communicating in English. English being the international language of shipping and flying, right? Okay? And a second language for both those countries. Well, then the South Koreans released a video via a news report. And in the video they said this.
Lastly, the video says communications from the Japanese plane were extremely unclear because of loud noises. The video includes actual sound recordings from the ship showing the messages were almost impossible to understand.
Yeah! Who could understand those Japanese mumbling their English? We didn't understand anything they said, so forget about it. To which I have to say, really? Or I should say in Japan, Majikayo! You did not understand? How about I let you listen to what the Japanese were communicating, and let's see if you understand. They attempted 6 times to communicate with that destroyer. Listen to the first one and the subsequent 5 afterwards.
Korean naval ship, hull number 971, hull number 971. This is Japan Navy, We observed that your SC antenna is next to us. What's the purpose of your act? Over. Korean South naval ship, This is Japan Navy, Korean South naval ship, hull number 971. This is Japan Navy. We observed that your ST antenna is direct to us. What's the purpose of your act? Over. Korean South naval ship, hull number 971. This is Japan Navy. We observed that your ST antenna is direct to us. What's the purpose of your act? Over. Korean South naval ship, This is Japan Navy. Korean South naval ship, hull number 971. This is Japan Navy. We observed that your SC antenna is directed to us. What's the purpose of your act? Korean naval ship, hull number 971. This is Japan Navy. We observed that your SC antenna is directed to us. What's the purpose of your act? Korean South naval ship, hull number 971. This is Japan Navy. We observed that your SC antenna is directed to us. What's the purpose of your act? Over.
Gee, sounded reasonable to me. Now, you have to understand this, folks. When somebody's trying to speak a language that's not their native language, naturally it's going to be somewhat challenging to understand if they're not fluent in that second language. But you want to know something, folks? Yeah. You're on a Navy destroyer. and flying overhead is an allied nation's military vessel. And you hear them trying to communicate with you, and you have no idea what they're trying to say to you. Well, because whatever the reason is. So what do? Silence? You ignore it? No. The reasonable thing, the honorable thing to do is you radio back to the Japanese aircraft and you say, "Hey, I had no idea what you just said. Could you please repeat it or try it in another language?" But that did not happen. There was silence on the part of the South Koreans. Now listen, I have met many members of the Japanese military forces. Honorable, decent, good human beings that they are. I don't think they would lie. Have I met any of the military of South Korea? Not a one. But I would say the same thing. I would say those in uniform in the South Korean military are honorable, decent people. So what happened there with this interpretation on the part of the South Koreans? It was the suits, not the uniforms, the suits, the civilian control over the South Korean, the politicians, the bureaucrats. They're the ones who messed up this interpretation, who had given out this lousy excuse. It's disgraceful. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You have to understand this. The suits, the bureaucrats, civilian control in South Korea. Japan is an ally to you, an ally to me. Yeah! These are the United States of America. And so are you. The three of us are allies. You know who the adversary is? That's right. Your buddies to the north and the commies in China. So stop the nonsense and let's stop with this video back and forth. Except for me. I continue to make videos. We'll see you. God bless you. God bless America. God bless the nation you happen to be. God bless our good friends and trusted allies in the land of the rising sun, Nihonkoku, Japan, and the good, decent people who put on the uniform in defense of their nation, as well as the good, decent people in South Korea who put on the uniform in defense of our nation, where our three nations together can deter commie aggression in the region. See ya.